Cause I just wanna win, I don't want it to end. So where do I begin? So I can do it again. And I just gotta win, I don't want it to end. So where do I begin? Cause I can do it again. Cause I just wanna win, yes I wanna win. And I just wanna win, I don't want it to end. So where do I begin? So I can do it again. Cause I just wanna win, man I just gotta win. And yes I know the very cold winters and the very bad Christmas. Kids who never got the things they ask for on their wish list. We never sat for breakfast and we hardly had.
Hey, what's up, everybody? 19th episode of Franchise's Boxing Show. Angelo here with my boy JP. JP, what's up, man?
Let's get this started, man.
All right. We're going to start up like we do. Follow us on Twitter, Cheap Seats Boxing. Go ahead, search it. Follow us at Cheap Seats Box. iTunes. Always rate, review, and subscribe. New subscribers, new ratings. That's what really drives you up, drives your numbers up, and moves you up spots. And also, iPatio listeners, Stitcher listeners, Windows listeners, Podomatic listeners. We're doing real good on Podomatic, believe it or not. We are, I think we're pushing around 50 to 60 overall in sports, which is good for us. Number 5 in Houston. So we're doing good with that. We appreciate the love and support there, man. Last night, tons of action. We're going to start off Josecito Lopez, Marcos Maidana, JP. Tell me what you thought, man.
That's a fight that I want to see again.
Yes. That's what we said. Yeah, that's what we said last week, too.
If it wasn't for the 6th round, I didn't know where that fight was going. Somebody get punched in the mouth. Somebody get punched in the liver. Somebody get punched in the face. Somebody get punched in the spleen. It was back and forth, back and forth. I really don't even think Maidana thought he was going to win the way he won. I think he was just like, he got mad from getting hit so many times. He's like, I better take these opportunities while I get them. Josecito Lopez, not a loser, even though he lost.
Yeah.
This dude come to fight. I don't care who you are, what you do, he comes to fight. I would love a rematch. I think Vasquez was in the crowd that night. So somebody trying to steal your trilogy, because that was a good one.
Yeah. And that's pretty much what we said. This could be a good 4 or 5 rounds, and it ended up being good 5, 6 rounds. Maidana, like I said, never in a boring fight. Maidana's always going to be an exciting fight. I think the only boring one he had was maybe Devin Alexander. I think maybe the boringest one. Where does he go from here? Does he get his shot? Like they were talking Matisse afterwards.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
I don't think he'll go back to 140 and fight Matisse. I think you said the winner could fight Guerrero if Guerrero gets to fight.
Yeah.
I'd like to see that. I mean, the only thing is
the loser could fight Guerrero.
Yeah, that's true too. And it may be because maybe they got bigger plans for Maidana. I don't know. At 140, well, see, the thing is with him though, he can fight between 140 and 147.
Right.
It's easy for him to go back and forth. So depending on who they give him, Zab would be another guy they might throw to him. The Matisse fight, I don't think is going to happen.
He shouldn't.
Why not? Why can't I think? Peterson. Why not Peterson?
Against Maidana?
Yeah. Why not? Why not? You know what I mean?
Oh Lord.
Maybe Peterson wants another shot at Argentina.
You right. And he gets it. Maidana gets a title shot.
Yeah. And like we said, Maidana's always a couple fights away from title shot. The guy's going to always get him because, and like I said last week, never the top, the best guys when they're at the peak. It's when they're on their way back up, and he still has a title. Peterson is, but he's on his way back up. So maybe that's the fight you get.
Whew. All I know is I don't think Maidana and Matisse should fight just because it's only 3 great famous Argentina fighters, and they don't need to have 2 of them going at each other. Yeah. They can knock out a lot of other people from a lot of other places.
Well, I mean, I guess just to sell tickets. I don't know.
Yeah, but do that in Argentina when they both.
You know who's another good one too is Andre Berto if he wins this fight coming up. That'd be another good fight.
Is he? But he fighting at 54 now?
No, he should be fighting at 47 against Soto Karass, which Maidana fought at 47.
Oh man. We'll see. We'll see.
And they got into it, right? Remember, did you listen to that? That they were saying that those two got into it in the crowd? Remember when they were talking, it was during the Charlo fight?
Yeah.
And they're like, the crowd's into two amateurs. It wasn't two amateurs.
It was them two.
It was them two going at it, so.
Well, let's do it.
Because I don't know how many fights he's got, how many options he's got. Especially at 47, Maidana.
His excitement brings options.
It does bring options, but it's never going to bring the top guys because the top guys don't want to go through a war a lot of times.
Well, some of them are going to be forced to.
Yeah.
Like a person like Amir Khan, when he moves up, he's going to be forced to.
He's got that. We'll see what happens with him and Alexander.
Right. It's the same thing with Matisse.
Mm-hmm.
People going to be forced to fight him. Just like Danny Garcia really forced to fight him. It wasn't,
Yeah. And that fight still has, the Garcia fight, he still hasn't signed yet. I don't think he's signed on yet.
Yeah, I mean, I would be thinking about it too.
To me, Fight of the Year candidate. Definitely one of them.
Ooh.
To me, God, it's going to be hard to beat Provodnikov and Bradley. But I thought it was better than Rios and Alvarado too.
Yeah.
Because I thought the back and forth action was a little bit better. It's pretty much what I thought it was going to be, and it was as good as I thought it would be.
And once again, it's got to be said, who would have thought Tim Bradley
Fight
would
of the
be a
Year.
winner of a Fight of the Year? Goodness, but you know what? It is what it is. That's good. That's good.
Yeah. So we jump right into the main event on HBO. Chad Dawson and Adonis Stevenson.
All I gotta say is, it was a short fight. For those of y'all who didn't watch it, I like Chad Dawson, but he got hit with one of them Bruce Lee. What's up? Right out the bat.
You know what's funny too is they were showing the lead up to it, the weigh-in, and how they got into it at the weigh-in, and I'm like, man, Chad looked focused. I said, and that's bad news for Stevenson. Chad looks even going into the ring. When they were face to face, he was ready. He was ready to go, and Stevenson hit him 2 times. I think the punch stat. No, when they put this punch stats, 3 punches for Dawson, 2 punches for Stevenson. Well, Stevenson always had dynamite in his hands, but I mean, look, the guy is 30. What is he? 36, 35. He had 20 fights going in, so I mean, he never really fought anybody good. So you kind of like, he's got power, but is it against lower level guys? Does he have that power going up against the top guys? Well, he beat the top guy at 175. There's nobody else even close at 175. He is the man.
If I was Chad, I wouldn't fight in Montreal again. That is the most unlucky city for him. It's just unlucky.
Yeah. I guess he was trying to make a statement. He was going to go through them all.
I think. I mean, he could get a rematch.
I will say I thought, even though because it was so early, no punishment had been taken, that let him get one more knockdown. I mean, he would have probably been knocked down 5 seconds later, but you give him the chance as the champ.
Yeah, you could give a champ a fighting chance,
and especially that early, because no damage had been accumulated. So,
he could have. But he was down on the canvas.
Yeah,
for a minute.
Trust me, he would have been knocked out. But I still say let the champ go out
like a champ.
Like a champ.
And that's part of the reason why I say he should get a rematch. But at the same token, he got caught. I mean, he did get caught. I'm sorry, even though I got to mention the way he went down, because I don't want to even say this, but he went down like Roy Tarver. He just, he gave that little lean forward, and it's like, boom. But, Chad, man, I just think.
Yeah, man, I was a Chad guy, man. I really like Chad.
I'm still a Chad guy. But you know what? Honestly, I think his skills never diminished. But I do think him switching trainers every 5 minutes is catching up to him.
Mm-hmm.
So either he needs to train himself to stop firing people, or, stick with somebody.
Stay more active.
Yeah, because I said before, he's not good off of a break. Like,
we didn't expect this bad, though.
Well, it didn't last long enough to be bad. It's just he got knocked out.
Yeah. I forget. This is going to come around. I forget what show, one of the shows I was listening to, and they were talking about HBO and always wanting to blow Andre Ward the whole time when they're doing a telecast. It does get sickening, but
They need him.
they need him. And it's kind of funny, though. Like, Stevenson calls out Ward. Hey, I can still fight at 68. I just barely came up to 75 for this fight because I couldn't get no fights at 68. Nobody would fight me at 68. Froch wouldn't fight me. Ward won't fight me. I go up to 75 to get a fight. Andre Ward totally dismissed it. Didn't even acknowledge that a challenge was issue. Now, here's a guy who has no opponents right now. He's went through pretty much the entire 168 class. Besides, Pascal Boutte is probably about it.
You know what's about to happen when he did that? You really know what's about to happen, right? For one, you issued a challenge to Andre Ward, who's been on for layoff because of surgery. So don't run around talking about like he's scared to fight you. You just signed your ass whooping. So I knew you wanted a payday. You signed your ass whooping. And isn't him and John Pascal brothers?
Well, no. They're
cousins or something.
Some related.
They're related. Well,
yeah,
you just got your family members' ass whipped too.
They got some ties. I forget what it is. They got some ties with. It wasn't brothers, but they're ties with.
They can.
With what you call it? Where they're from?
Haiti.
Haiti, yeah. I don't know, but
you got both of their ass whipped just now.
But well, the thing is he's going to have to go to Oakland if he fights him.
No,
he's not.
But
Ward, I would like to see Ward just say, "Hey, we'll see what happens." But he said nothing.
Ward's not a talker though.
No, he's not a talker, but he likes to talk about himself.
Yeah, he needs to promote himself. He ain't fighting right now.
You can't argue with the quality of opponents, but I mean I don't know how long that hand's going to take.
What hand?
Is it what do you
It's like a rotator cuff.
A rotator cuff. How long is it going to take? Pitchers have gotten back on the mound quicker than this guy has gotten back in the ring.
You need that one if you're throwing hooks.
Okay, let me tell you this. Nonino Donaire had surgery on his shoulder.
No, he said he had.
No, he already had surgery on his shoulder. He's already back in the gym and talking about fighting later on this year.
And I got an idea for him.
And Ward, look.
No, he's fighting now.
Who's he fighting?
No.
I haven't heard anything.
No, remember, maybe about 3 months ago, he was cleared to start doing boxing training from his surgery. So if that's the case, it was pretty bad because it took him like 6 months just to get cleared to start back doing light training. So, I mean, yeah, it's taking him a while, but you know what? That's good. There's a lot of people who can call him out on this layoff. He got a lot of people.
But there's not that. But that's the problem. There's not that many.
Yes, there is.
There is not that many because unless he's gonna fight,
he ain't fighting at 68.
He's gonna fight at 68. He already said he ain't moving up. He said that he's not moving up. He has no plans of moving up.
He said he's not moving up.
There's nobody to fight.
He didn't say he wouldn't fight people up there.
But I'm saying, who's the fight at 75?
He can fight Pascal. He can fight Adonis. He can fight Froch. He can fight.
But Stevenson already said, "I'll fight you at 68. I don't need to fight you because."
Oh, he gonna fight Stevenson.
Stevenson is a 68 fighter.
Right.
He only came up for these fights to get to Dawson. That's why he came up for the last fight was for this fight against Dawson. Pascal, Boutte, they're 68s.
They gonna run.
They're both. I mean, yeah, they're fighting at 75, but they're both 68.
Yeah, exactly. That's why they gonna run.
Just my opinion. You guys start talking about fighting somebody. I mean, how long are you gonna wait? Because Pascal and Boutte ain't fighting until December. Okay. So if you fight the winner of that, well then you ain't fighting until another year from now.
He's not. No, he's gonna fight Stevenson first. Stevenson just put himself in the mix with a stunning victory.
Yeah, he did.
So, So what it is at the end of the day, it's a way to put your name in a hat. You get to fight a great champion who needs a fight against somebody credible just to feel like he still got it. Because you know once he gets back in the ring, that's what he's probably thinking about himself. Is this injury 100%? Do I still have it? And he got somebody that just gave him some motivation, like, I'm going to kick your ass running your mouth.
I hope so. God, I hope so, because
So
if he has motivation and fights like he fought against Dawson, then we can actually see a pretty decent fight. I hope he don't fight like he's been, the hit and hold style. I just get sick of the hit and hold style.
The thing that I do like about Andre Ward is, besides he's a winner, he really doesn't. He only uses what he has to, and he was saying that even before the Dawson fight, I'm gonna start knocking people out. And that was his mentality. He said, I've been working on my craft, working on my game, and I know the one thing that people were looking for is me getting guys out there. I'm gonna start getting guys out there. And you know what? He did do it.
He did. He got it. He did do it against a drained Chad Dawson.
Well,
Took 10 rounds.
Threw 10 rounds, but guess what? Did you expect him to knock him out that many times?
But that's what I'm saying. That's why this kind of makes him go,
Yeah.
Because literally we now know that it only takes one shot from Stevenson, and it changes everything.
Yeah.
He's the Matisse of 168, 175, where he doesn't have to land a lunky punch. He just has to land a punch clean.
Yeah.
So, to me, that's exactly the fight that Ward needs to take at Stevenson, because it gives you an excitement, even if it's even if you got a little bit of a boring fight going through 6.
It's a knockout in the making.
Yeah, you're like, hold on though, he still got a chance. So it kind of keeps you intrigued with the fight throughout the fight, because some of those fights, against Froch and is it Kessler, and you were kind of like,
hey. I got it.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like it's like young Bernard Hopkins. Bernard Hopkins is exciting now because he's 80 years old. When he was 30 years old, he wasn't exciting.
Yeah, but how can I say this correctly? It's okay to be the Tim Duncan of boxing if you keep winning.
It absolutely is okay to be.
I mean, you're not gonna get the LeBron fanfare, but you still get the rings.
Yeah.
But I want to see him SOG versus Superman, so he could do the Superman stand. Look, that's one of the best intros of boxing. I'm sorry.
And the ultimate good versus evil, huh? They're gonna they'll play that up, won't they?
The Christian versus the ex-pimp.
Mm-hmm. Let's just go ahead. We move to the undercard on Showtime. Alfredo Angulo and Erislandy Lara.
Oh. Okay, I think a rematch is in effect.
I say Lara doesn't take it.
I mean, I wouldn't either, but I think a rematch should be in effect.
Because if this is any indication, Angulo is bad, and he looked bad the last fight, and his defense
sucked.
Needs improvement, of course, but he's actually becoming
a better
fighter and a better game plan. And if he's continuing to get better, because he's only 30 years old.
Man, you know how some people we say he's only, and then other people like, he about.
Well, he's taking some punishment, but he's only 22-2 now. 3. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I mean,
he's only has 25 fights, so it's not like there's a ton of wear and tear on him.
No.
We'll see what happens with that eye, because some people don't recover from eye injuries like this. Margarito never did.
I will say this. When I realized that him working out there got him to a point where he game plans for people, I really think that he's going to sit back and let his eye heal, and he's going to work on his defense. And if he does that, which he probably will, he going to be hell on wheels. Because he kind of did what I would say Canelo would do. First round, 2 rounds, you looking at him like, what the hell is he doing? Mm-hmm. And then bam.
Yeah. Then all of a sudden he commits to the punches.
Right. And then it's that's what he was doing in the first 2 rounds. So it's kind of like, he making you think he ain't doing much, and then he just letting it all hang out. Lara, man, that was a hell of a fight for Lara, because I didn't know which way this fight was going to go. At one point, I was like, he's outboxing him, he's moving, he's shaking, and like, bam. it's over. Oh, he got up.
Yeah.
He's doing it again. Then it got to the point where the tension was so thick because you didn't know if him running and pop shotting was going to make it or if Angulo was just going to knock him clean out. And the way the fight ended was very surprising and abrupt. And you can't really blame either fighter because, I mean, you fight for a living for one. He got hit with a good shot that broke it. I mean, like you said, the one before that probably got thumbs. It's questionable. But at the same token, if that didn't happen, we do not know where that fight would have gone.
That's exactly right. You called a lucky punch only in the fact that it broke his orbital bone. Not the fact that because he'd been hitting him with it the whole time, but you can't. Nobody can plan to break somebody's orbital bone. It's just you have to hit a bone at the exact right point for it to happen. You know, it has to do with power, but
placement.
It has more to do with placement than power. Going into that 10th round, I thought Angulo had taken over as far as the momentum. You could see his mouth Laura's mouth was wide open, and body shots was at that point
that left
killing him. Yeah, the left to the body. I mean, and as dark as Laura was, you could still see the redness on his side.
But I got to give it to him. He was a tough cookie because he kept.
He took it.
He never even adjusted. Mm-mm. He just kept. I'll take another one. He ran out. You hit him out 2 times. Like I got to get away from him. Mm-hmm. But he's tough.
I will say this. I was glad to see that one judge had Angulo ahead. Now, I understand if it's close, but there were some judges that had it like 3 points for Laura, and I'm like, I don't see how you could do that. It was like they were giving, like, if his 2 or 3 pop shots, you know, he'd come out and he'd hit him quick 1-2, hit him with that straight right, you know, he'd been hitting him with. He was getting credit for those 3-4 shots, but then Angulo would hit him 5-6 body shots and get no credit. And it was nice to see that one of the judges at least was giving him credit for it.
It was one of those situations where Laura looked like a clean boxer, and Angulo looked like a dirty boxer. And I don't mean dirty as in, as in he's a dirty fighter.
You're talking about dirty in the trenches,
right? And a lot of people can go for. Oh, that looked a whole lot smoother. That looked a whole lot more Renaissance. That looked a whole lot more boxing. And what Angulo was doing was a little bit more Jack Dempsey. Yeah. You know, and it was kind of like, you really didn't pay attention to it because it didn't stick out to your eye. Mm-hmm. But that's why, to me, it could have gone either way. Like, I could have saw, really, to me, the knockdowns kept evening out the fight. Yes. Because what kept happening was, it seemed like Laura would win in spurts, and Angulo was planning for the big boom. So the spurts Laura would win would get trumped out by the knockdowns, or the times when he set him up and he pinned him, and then he get to take shots. But Laura will actually, I got to run, I got a pot shot, I got to move, and he showed a lot of heart because he wasn't like, when you talk about other fighters who just run, he didn't really do that. He kind of stayed in the pocket enough to not get hit at times, but enough to counterpunch. So
it was an interesting mix of the running, because he would run at times, but then it was to reset himself, but like
constant fire.
The judge, like the one judge who had Angulo up 3. It was that running so hard, like so fast, that it's like, well, then Angulo must be doing some damage. And to me, he needs to not do it so fiercely. Like when he runs backwards, not so, because it looks bad. It looks like Angulo is doing so much damage that you have to get out there. Now, what he is doing, he's just resetting himself. And he would come in. Like I said, it was just an interesting mix, man, because you're like, well, hold on, is he getting hit so hard that he needs to get out of there, or is he just resetting himself? And I think he could do more, because he's supposed to be the superior boxer. The superior boxer should have been way ahead. Well, because most people thought Angulo had virtually no chance to get this guy. From what I was just, I didn't think so. I thought Angulo had a real good chance. Of course, I thought Laura would beat him. I didn't think he'd knock him out with the.
And I thought it was just one of them fights where a punch could do, because you got to realize Laura can punch. A lot of people don't know that, but he can punch. But the thing about it,
Angulo's chin is just
right. And the thing about a fight like that is, Angulo can knock you out with one shot, but Laura is such a good counterpuncher. He might hit you with something that you don't see coming, and that can knock you out.
Yeah.
So. There's the same thing about the eye. That left kept from the first bell, from ding, he came with that straight left, like bow, lead left, I got you. So I mean, it accumulated. But with Angulo, I gotta admit, man, I like the both of them even more, and I respect the both of them even more. I'm not gonna call you the cheater no more. I'm not gonna call you the tooth. But in Angulo. You're not Pedro, you the big dog. Because, to be honest, there's no way he walks in the ring. He chases this guy down. And he keeps getting hit. And he's like, all right, when I catch your ass, I'm going to hurt you. And he kept, it took him sometimes, but he caught him and he would hurt him. And I just want his eye to heal. I wish a speedy 100% recovery, and I wish I have a rematch, because even I think Lara wanted to win, but I don't think he wanted to win that way, even though it's not a knock on him or Angulo. But, at least finish in a way that he feels like, what could have happened if we'd have finished. So.
Well, I don't think Well, even if they do rematch, it ain't going to be next.
Oh, no.
Because Angulo's going to need probably a year, before he fights again. They saw about Laura going against Cotto.
Trout.
I can see the Trout fight. But Trout's got a fight coming up in September.
Is he going to fight Rosado for sure now?
I don't know if it's Rosado, but he's fighting in September. He didn't announce who he's fighting. He just announced he's fighting in September. And I guess it's going to be on pay-per-view, I think.
Yeah.
Pay-per-view.
It's going to be on the card.
Yeah, and maybe it is Rosado, because Rosado was talked about fighting Cotto. And now Cotto's talking about fighting Lara. I guess it's a good fight for Laura, because Laura needs more exposure, and beating Cotto gives you exposure.
Yeah,
Cotto, to me, is still a washed fighter. He's not a good 154. Yeah, I wish he could make 147, because that's where he was the best at. He's not. To me, he's just not that good at 54. He just didn't carry the power.
I don't think, I always say this about Cotto. Always a big fan. I just think after his father died, he became a family man. I really do. I really don't think his skills diminished, really. I think even when he fought the fight with Floyd, that was his kind of last hurrah, even though he showed up. Like, don't get it twisted. He showed up for that fight.
Yeah, with him, it's not about skill. It's always been about heart. How much heart are you going to show?
Right, but I think once his dad died, it was like, I don't,
And if your heart's not in it, then you're.
He's trying. It's what he's been doing his whole life.
When your heart's not totally into it, your skills only going to take you so far.
Right.
His skill set's not that high. He's got a good skill set, but it's not so high that
he could just get by. People.
Yeah, he can get by with it. He's not Floyd.
Yeah, but Floyd works harder.
No, but I'm saying, if Floyd's heart wasn't in, his skill would still
get him by.
Exactly. This with Cotto, I don't think it. At 54, man.
Provodnikov.
Provodnikov go up.
I don't care what. Anywhere from 40 to 54, Provodnikov.
Ishe Smith.
Ishe's gonna have to fight. I think he is fighting somebody.
Yeah. Well, I know K9.
And it's not K9.
Hold on.
Ishe is supposed to be fighting somebody.
Hold on, is that who's fighting Cotto?
K9.
K9.
Yeah.
Yeah, K9 is fighting Cotto, which is just makes no sense fight.
It makes sense for Cotto because he could dominate the fight on his skill set against K9.
But I mean,
he got to see if
you get absolutely nothing out of the fight though, as far as momentum. I mean, you get a win.
You get a win, but you also get to know if you really want to be in there because K9 gonna come swinging for the fences. So if you just slacking, he's gonna capitalize if he rock you. So, and he got nothing to lose. So, you're fighting somebody who really still want to be there, who's 39 years old, ain't got nothing to lose.
Let's go undercard. One, they're undercard on HBO. Gamboa and Darles Perez. Now, the first thing I want to say is, I don't think all them drugs was out of his system because
he's always been yoked.
No, but this was beyond yoked, and it was. I don't even know what the hell they're called. You know, on the sides, them wings and shit, man. Because
he's yoked.
I went back today and I watched some old YouTube videos at 1:30. Or was it 1:30? Yeah, 126, which is only 9 pounds difference. He was yoked, but it's still night and day, man.
You know,
and look, and the back acne on top of it, and the fact that you were linked to that same lab that all the baseball players were linked to, and he even admitted
that he took that stuff. He didn't know if it was legal or not.
And what did he say? I'm pretty sure it's out of my system now. Well, if you worried about it being in your system, then you know the shit was illegal.
Well, I look at it like this. He looked like Nelly. So I figured he was trying to, do his hot and hair workout.
That's not a good example because he's also on PEDs too. And your boss, 50 Cent, we know he likes to dabble in them.
I don't know if he do. No.
Yes. You don't get that big. It's not natural.
That guy's been big. He just been chubby.
Well, he's been big.
Dr. Dre was big and chubby.
Dr. Dre is another guy who's been on the PEDs too. Yeah. Oh, yes, he is. Do you need me to go get you the latest video of his?
He just wears a lot of tight shirts. That's all.
Yeah. You look like Barry Bonds all of a sudden.
He always had a big head.
But
it's a headphone head.
You know what? The fact that we're going this deep into the PEDs with Gambo, it tells you how exciting the fight was.
You know what? I'm gonna give some positive to this though. He beat an undefeated fighter. Mm-hmm. He showed up in the beginning of the fight. He won.
That's his problem. He is a 4-round fighter.
No, that's not his problem. I realized what his problem is when they were talking about it. He fights to the level of his competition. And the problem with that is he gets bored because I started getting mad watching the fight because about round 8, it looked like he just totally disengaged from the fight. Like, man, this is over, man. I ain't got nothing to show because forget this dude. He's not going to beat me, whatever. So I honestly think at the end of the day, he needs to, and I'm not talking about he as in Gamboa, a.k.a. Lil Nelly. I think 50 Cent needs to say, okay, you 35, this is what's going to happen. Your next fight, we either going to try to get you Broner at 35 for a belt, or we're going to get you Ricky Burns at 35 for a belt, or you going down to 30 and see if you can fight Abner Mares at a catchweight. Or Donaire at 30.
He'd have to do with Donaire. I don't think we'd fight him right off the bat, not coming off the loss and coming off coming off the surgery, so he's not going to fight him right away. But looking at 130, there's nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Ricky,
that's why he came up,
right?
And that's why the whole PED thing. I'm like, man, did he use it to get? Because I mean, he's a small guy. He's 5'5". He's a small dude. I mean, that's small.
But that's the thing.
That's why 135 for Gamboa, that's it. He can't come up any higher. 140, he can't do it, man.
No, I get that.
He don't have the power for it. He had power at 126. He doesn't have power at 135.
I think he does. But I think his problem is he's not. I think if he fights somebody who's a great fighter, you'll see how great he is. But I think when he fights somebody who's not that great, he's just like, man, there's nothing else to prove to this guy, okay? Because he needs to be pushed.
He does need to be pushed.
And if he can't fight Broner, fight Burns. Because at least it'll get him notoriety. And he's going to have to make a good fight, you know? Fight Broner. But I don't know where Broner's going to be after this Poly fight, because to jump up 2 weight classes, are you going back down to your own?
I've already told you what he's doing, man. He's fighting Shane Mosley, dude.
I know.
I hate to break your heart, man.
I know what you said, but I'm working on something here. But on whatchamacallit, I think if I was him, my best money would be fighting Abner Morris. Because you can see Morris going up to 30, and you can see him going from 35 down to 30 just to fight at a weight. They don't have to fight for a belt or nothing. But that'll be a good fight for boxing. And frankly, they both had good amateur backgrounds. Gamboa can't get relaxed and just disengage from the fight, because if he will, he's going to get knocked out. And Morris, since he's got a list of greats on his hit list,
Throw another one on there. And it doesn't
do much but add to his, his resume. But, I mean, I was excited at the fight in the beginning, and then I wanted to cuss at the TV because I felt like, man, once you quit fighting in the fight, I wanted to quit watching it.
He's turned me off as a fan, like watching him on ESPN.
He used to be more excited.
Oh, I loved him, man. I was like, man, who is this kid? You know what I mean? You didn't know who he was at first. It's like, man, this guy is just knocking everybody out. He's flashy, but with the power, you know what I mean?
But now,
these last few fights, man, and the when he was scheduled to fight Broner, wasn't it Broner? He was Who was he?
Bam Bam. That's when it all started falling apart.
That's right, Rios. He now you go look at, man, Rios would have destroyed them.
And that's but that's the irony of this whole thing. I think mentally he's at that place where his frustration shows in the ring. Because I saw even when the bell rings, sometimes he just turned around like, man, whatever, man. I don't know. And I think he sees Guillermo just shoot up. Then Lara just now, shot up. And then he's sitting there like, man, I've been doing good this whole time. And situations really out of my control threw me off track. But now he's his lack of focus is throwing him more off track. Yeah. So I think he just needs, if I was 50 Cent and I was his promoter, I said, you know what? I tell you what, I'm going to commit to you. I'm going to ride with you loyal no matter what. But from now on, you finna take the hard road against all the champs, because it seems like you ain't interested in these. Even though Perez is a good fighter, he was a good undefeated fighter. You seem not interested in the come up. You want the big fish. So from now on, we getting the biggest fish we can find for you, and we're not fighting nobody but the big fish.
I didn't keep score in this fight. I just want to fight. There's quite a few fights that I won't. I generally keep score, but on this fight, I was like, I'm just not keep score. Then you look at all the scorecards that came in, right? To me, he lost the fight because there was a 6-point turnaround in this fight. The first knockdown, the only knockdown to me was a knockdown. He never even hit him. He pushed him in the back of the head. It wasn't even a punch, and he got the knockdown. Perez was actually winning that round. Yeah, it goes from losing 10-9 to winning 10-8. That's 3 points. Then the round that he went down, what was it? The 9? Something, I don't know.
It was late.
And that was a knockdown. I don't care if his foot slipped when he got punched. He got punched in the face and went down. That should have been a knockdown for Perez against Gamboa. So Gamboa ends up going and winning that round. So it's another 10-9 round that he should have lost 10-8. Right? So that's a 6-point turnaround. Those 2 punches is 6 points. And you take them 6 points and you reverse it, he loses on all those cards.
I will say this about that too. His disengagement from the fight turned me off to the point where I didn't think he deserved the victory.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say beyond that, if you fighting in the ring and when you start sweating, you got plastic ass signs.
Yeah, that was...
I think, look, from now on, cloth signs. Because I think even not just, it would, I'm not even, because I really think he slipped on the second one. I really think the first one counted more because it wasn't that much sweat on the
yeah, but it also wasn't, I didn't think it was a punch.
Okay, I get that. But I don't think the floor, that was like the first round. So the mat wasn't what it was later on in the fight. But I also think that if you're going to get an emblem, get something sewn into the mat. Because what happens is fighters kind of get frustrated because you don't have the ring that you thought you was going to have. And I got mad about that as I was watching because I'm like, okay, they can't fight in the middle of the ring, which probably would have been at his advantage to throw combinations because he's standing on a plastic sign and you ain't really going to be able to plant and move on that.
Yeah.
You fight, they only could fight in 8 spots.
Yeah, it was.
And that was above and below, the 2 sides, and parts, and not actually in the 4 corners, but right in front of the 4 corners. Mm-hmm. So you just took a standard ring and shrunk it, and you can only make people punch from 8 spots. If you want a combination fighter to fight like that, you kind of set them up for failure.
Yeah, that's a great point. That ring was awful. The signs, I've never seen a plastic sign in there. And you can see where he did slip. The problem was he
got hit
with the punch.
when he slipped. I get
and
that.
you watching the replay, and when you see his heel slide, you see the sweat that he slid on. Come on, Canada.
Come on, A.
Goddamn Frenchies over there.
That bothered me because, I mean, even for Perez, it messed up his fight.
Mm-hmm.
Because partially, I felt like if they would have had a better canvas, it would have been a better fight. Because to me, they couldn't engage like both of them wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
And if they could have engaged more, Perez could have won. Gamboa could have dominated. But it made for a messed up situation. It really did.
It pretty much went along with the fight. The fight was in points as bad as the mat was.
Yeah.
Talk about close to home. Demetrius Hopkins, Jamel Charlo on the undercard on Showtime.
Well,
you come off 2 ways in that fight. You know, it's a good victory because he's a solid veteran. Hopkins, solid veteran. Charlo got the victory. I thought deserved the victory. Obviously, he needs a couple more improvements in his game. Here's what I saw. Here's what I saw from the biggest improvement for me besides the punch output. That's easy. You know, he does need to punch more. Especially at junior middleweight. He needs to punch more than 20, 30 times maybe in a round. But they're saying he doesn't throw the left hook very often. That's not a punch he likes to throw, is the left hook. And he didn't throw it but a few times. He's not a big left hook guy, right? His best punches was straights. And when Hopkins was moving to his right, but Hopkins is left. Now, the problem was that he was never cutting the ring off, and Hopkins is constantly moving to the right, right, towards his left hand.
People want him to he was working into that punch.
You're working him into the you're working Hopkins into your least effective punch.
But that's
what comes with this.
But that's good that was smart on Hopkins.
Yes.
That was like, you know what? I can do this all night because he don't throw this punch.
Yes.
Like, I'm going to walk into a punch he never throws? Yeah, right. I think Charlo, he needed that fight, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's good. It's good. It's a good learning experience for him.
He very much so needed that because at the end of the day, now he's like, okay, these are the steps I got to make to be a champion. This was a test for me, a tough fight. So I got to step it up. I got to be able to adjust better. I have to, you know, I'm not going to say he has to know how to bite down because I think he bit down and realized sometimes I just got to go for it, you know, because I think that was one of his major problems was he's slow on the trigger sometimes.
Yeah. That's funny. You said that what he said because he even said that I'm not only going to throw punches when they're perfect.
Right.
That's something an older fighter says.
Right.
They don't let the hands go. They're waiting for that perfect spot. You're 23. Let them hands go.
And you can't, and that's a problem for him because he doesn't. Because him and his brother have fought, but I don't think he's got the experience to know what punch a person's going to walk into if he just throws it. So it's okay to throw that perfect punch. The problem is, it seems like he's thinking so much he doesn't know which punch is the perfect punch.
And don't throw just the perfect punch.
Right.
When the perfect punch is there, when the time is there to throw that punch, throw it. But you need to throw other things to set up. That's the thing. He's not setting up he's not setting up that punch.
But that's what I mean. Like a fighter like Floyd, a fighter even like Broner, or I would say Marquez, they can do that because they know. Okay, it looks very clean when they do it because they see what's coming. He doesn't see what's coming yet, so he can't just say, "Okay, I'm going to the body, I'm gonna feint. Oh, I'm gonna take this right hook to the head." He's not gonna, he's not thinking ahead like that, not yet. In time, he could do it, but right now he's not doing it right.
Yeah, but I'm sure Shields will work with them.
Yeah,
on that. Like you got to cut that ring off and make him move into your most effective punches. You got to lead him to your right hand. Don't lead him to your left hook, which is a punch you're not throwing. But definitely a good win. What did he get? The USBA title. Kind of looking through the rankings here.
15.
Yeah, 15. It's not bad.
Go up.
And
people don't know, but Carlos Molina he was surprised.
Well, that guy said he just fights so many boring fights.
Yeah, but you remember who that is. So he's rough though.
Yeah,
he's rough.
He's rough. You look at the 154 because Charlo now he needs to take that next step up. Maybe he gets a filler fight in between, but maybe an Ishii Smith.
Maybe he gets the winner of Bundridge and Cotto.
You know what? I could see that because Golden Boy. Yeah, I can see Golden Boy doing that. If they think that he's got something, well, you'll know what you think. By what Golden Boy does. Does Golden Boy say, "All right, let's feed him to Cotto, Bundridge, whoever wins that. See what we think of him," or does Canelo lose and say, "You know what? Throw him to Canelo." That's when you know what they think of him.
Where you at?
Yeah, where they're thinking of him. Martirosian's another guy that they could fight, coming off that technical draw with Arislandi Lara. These are step ups, but
he's gonna have to take a major one in the next couple of
Delvin
fights.
Rodriguez is another one. He just fought. Was it on ESPN?
I don't think he
a couple weeks ago. That's not a bad.
I don't think he wants that.
I tell you, there's one down there he doesn't want. Is that damn Corey Spinks?
Yeah, he probably don't know. Okay, that one.
That's boring. You know what? Here's a guy that Golden Boy loves to throw to the up and comers. Alfonso Gomez.
Still like Alfonso.
Yeah, I like him
But you know
too.
what? The reason Alfonso Gomez don't get the opportunities because he'll spoil your damn career.
Mm-hmm. He's just he's one of them hard-working guys.
Because remember, people don't know this, but Canelo wasn't finna be the man messing with Alfonso Gomez.
No.
That ref had to cut. We need to cut this down.
Yeah. And well, we'll see what they have planned for him. I want to see what they got for his brother coming up. I don't know what they're gonna have for his brother coming up.
His brother is the more exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not gonna say his brother's more. He's more of a knockout puncher,
Mm-hmm.
but I think his brother is the one that people gravitate to because of the style, and I think that's a problem for him because he sees people gravitate to his brother's style, and since they're twins,
Mm-hmm.
he wants to. I could do that too. Don't do that. I mean, do what works for you. Y'all both undefeated. Y'all both do it in different ways. Just do what works for you. It's okay. I mean, Paulie Malignaggi got a belt. He ain't trying to knock people out.
Yeah.
And for y'all to understand, that probably was my first straight compliment to Paulie without dissing him. I still like you, Paulie. I just be talking.
I like and don't like Paulie sometimes, but I'll definitely be rooting for Paulie in a couple weeks.
I don't care who wins. I just love the trash talking. You got.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. You two need to. You know what? I need you, as in Paulie, Adrian Bronner.
Mm-hmm.
I need Floyd Mayweather. I need Antonio Margarito, and who else is out there that does it well? Let's see. I'm missing somebody. I'm missing somebody who talk. And Bernard Hopkins. To teach a class on how to talk that shit.
Mm-hmm.
The fighters who could just walk in there, yeah, I said it. I did it.
Yeah.
I did it. Talk, yes, I'm going to do it again.
Going back to that Stevenson fight, you think Hopkins looks at him and says, I might want a piece of that?
Well, see.
Because Hopkins ain't worried about getting knocked out. He ain't
That's
scared,
what I was about
he
to
ain't
say.
scared of nobody's power. And if Stevenson can't knock you out,
What can he do?
Exactly. I don't think he's got the skills. And coming off such a spectacular knockout and getting a name out there to take Stevenson out on your next fight after that, does that not like boost his name even more?
I'm gonna say this in the best way I can put it. Stevenson, fight Andre Ward, because if you fight Bernard Hopkins, see,
yeah,
it's a difference between losing to a young great Andre Ward to a 50-year-old Bernard Hopkins. They'd be like, you know what, oh, he's done.
Because if you fight Hopkins, you lose. You've eliminated the fight with Ward.
Right.
If you fight Ward, lose to Ward, you still do have the option of fighting the older guy.
Yeah,
exactly. Because the other one eliminates the other. So yeah, that is a great point.
You'd be mad at yourself. You'd be, why did I do that?
You know, one of the fights that I've been hearing buzz about that they trying to sign is Devin Alexander, Amir Khan. Amir Khan's first shot at 147.
I'm gonna say
I don't know which way to think on this one, man.
Devin Alexander gonna kick his ass. I'm gonna tell you why. Amir Khan is normally the faster fighter. He's probably still a faster fighter in this fight.
Yeah, he's definitely the faster puncher. Absolutely.
But the problem is, I've seen Alexander take better shots from better punches. I've seen Khan not take better shots from worse punches.
Yeah.
So that part of it, that's a problem.
Khan,
and I like Amir Khan. Don't get me wrong, but it's something about him that I can admire. That when he gets rocked, he wants to fight. But he's got to understand that you know what? He reminds me of Timothy Bradley. Don't get caught in exchanges because you never win in them. Just like Timothy Bradley may win all these fights, but he doesn't win exchanges. He always get rocked when he want to stand there and throw. But when Khan stands there and throws, he gets knocked down, knocked out, shook up. Don't do it. Just don't do it.
Khan is he's so intriguing with the chin because what was it last fight? Julio Diaz rocked the hell out of him. He's been knocked out. I can't think the first guy who knocked him out in one round.
That was before Garcia.
Yeah.
God dog.
Yeah.
What's it? What you gonna call it?
He just fought not that long ago on
yeah, that's what I'm trying
on HBO, I think. But the point is like he got knocked out.
Was it Maidana?
No.
Salino?
He fought. No, that's not who knocked him out. That's the point I'm getting to. So those guys knock him out, okay? Those guys stop him. Or Julio Diaz almost did.
Right.
Peterson, he takes all the punishment, goes through 12. Maidana takes the punishment, goes through the decision, wins the decision. His chin is he's chinny sometimes, but yet sometimes he fights through it.
Right.
He's like that's what makes this fight intriguing because Alexander's not the biggest puncher. He's a good puncher, but not the biggest puncher. This is why I don't know which way to go with this because Alexander, I think, should beat him. But then if Khan gets through your power,
you got nothing left.
Yeah, because it's hard. It's hard to if you can't hurt him, if you don't hurt him, or you don't hurt him enough, where so what? You knock him down. Do you hurt him? If you don't hurt him, he's got the skill and the speed to beat almost anybody, but he's also got the chin to get knocked out by anybody. And that's why the fight, I don't know which way to go with it.
That's why I pick Alexander. Because at the end of the day, they're both fast. Mm-hmm. They're both decent counter punches. But they're both excellent combination punches. I would trust a guy who's been down less.
That's the point. I would go with Alexander just because you don't trust Khan's chin.
Because he might take their first one.
Mm-hmm.
He might miss, but that second or third, you just don't know.
Yeah.
Like when I saw that Alexander get hit by Randall Bailey, flush. Now you know Randall Bailey knocks people out. Mm-hmm. He don't throw but 3 punches in a fight, but he got clocked flush a few times. Kept fighting like nothing ever happened. Yeah. I'm sure you felt it later on that night.
Yeah.
But it's like nothing ever happened in the fight. Khan, I
know.
Like that, like certain fighters fight them. Power punches, don't fight them. Like I would never tell him to fight Lucas Matisse. Don't you ever do
Oh
that.
hell no, that would never last.
You know, I wouldn't tell him to fight Maidana. I wouldn't tell him to fight Victor. I wouldn't tell him though.
Yeah.
I wouldn't tell him to fight Victor Ortiz. I wouldn't tell him to fight Andre Berto. I wouldn't tell him to fight. Like he would be the consummate. You know what? If I was them, Khan fights Robert Guerrero.
I think he gets knocked out by Guerrero because he gets roughed up and he just
exactly.
He has a, even though I think Alexander is a superior boxer or superior fighter to Guerrero, I think he has almost no chance of beating Guerrero because he will get roughed up and get knocked out. But Alexander, he has a chance because Alexander's not a rough fighter. He'll just outskill you.
It's all perception.
Yeah.
You need to feel like you got a shot. Going against Robert Guerrero, people will say, you know what? We don't see Guerrero as a power puncher. Mm-hmm. He's knocked some people down.
Yeah.
But they don't see him as a person that could just get you out of that, even though he's a tough guy.
Yeah, I don't see him as that guy either.
So he could go in a fight, he can't, he might hurt me a little bit, but he won't be able to get me out of there. So I don't think it's necessarily true, but I think if you go in there with the mindset of he can't get me out of there, just like taking into consideration like Floyd Mayweather. A fighter don't go to fight Floyd and say, Floyd gonna knock me out. No, because they don't think they're like, he's not going to get me out of there. Now, he might discourage him to the point where you sitting there, it's been 12 rounds and I ain't hit him but 13 times. And he didn't hit me square and my nose is bleeding. Like, he messes up your psyche. But Khan's psyche is intact because he might feel like he ain't fight, like when they was like, you should fight Pacquiao. No, you should. You should fight Real? Hell no. Like, he should fight Guerrero. He should fight Mike Alvarado. Those are we need to work you up into people that will drop you at one punch.
Yeah.
You know?
That's funny because remember how with Khan, they used to say, you know, when they were sparring, he was getting the better of Manny. Yeah, because they had headgear on. You idiot.
Yeah. You ain't gonna feel it?
Yeah.
But
get him with no headgear. Let's see how it goes.
And Manny don't even like sparring.
And it's with 12-ounce gloves instead of 8-ounce gloves. Big difference,
Look
people.
Ask Ricky Hatton. He looked dead on every replay.
One last thing. Next week, to me, the only fight we're talking about in big, Mikey Garcia, one man with Lopez. I know you excited.
Turn it up.
And that's it.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I got one other person.
Yeah, go ahead.
On the undercard of the Showtime, undercard.
On Show Extreme?
Show Extreme. There was a kid called JoJo Diaz.
Mm-hmm.
4-round exhibition. He made the guy quit after the 3rd round. Hey, if you get a chance, if his name ever pops up on any undercard, watch this kid. That's all I'm gonna say. Watch him. If you can make a man want to quit, his corner want him to quit. If the ref walks up to you and say, you know what? I seen this 3 rounds, and you're not looking so good, son. It's over. He doing something. So watch him.
So what do you think about next week?
Shit. I'm rolling with Mikey Garcia.
I don't see how you can't. Especially in this fight, man. Okay, Garcia, look, you got slid down the rankings 126 to me. You're number 2 now. Abner Morales is number 1. That's okay. But Lopez he's trying to regain his career. He's a guy who struggles at 130 to make the weight. And he's coming down to 126. To me, he's going to be drained. I don't know why Lopez decided he wanted to go after Garcia at 126. I guess he thinks I'm the bigger fighter. I'm going to show him what for, you know what I mean? But I don't see how Garcia doesn't just
rock him,
catch him with the hook, knock him out, stop him in about 5 to 6 rounds. I don't see how it doesn't go that way.
You know what? Because of this ironic week, anything's possible.
Yeah, I mean, it is.
But is it probable? That's a whole nother story.
No, it's not probable.
I would say we're gonna hit. Okay, Mikey Garcia wins. Abner Mares and Mikey Garcia might have a fight at 26.
Mm-hmm.
Mikey Garcia loses. One man can have a fight with Gamboa at a weight that he can make.
Well, yeah, that fight they can make that at 30, anywhere between 30 and 35. But I mean,
I'm talking for an excitement.
Juanma would have to actually, even a loss, say a good 12-round decision loss by Lopez, there's an opponent. Like we were talking about opponent for Gamboa, there's an opponent right there.
Yeah. Because
it's a name, and if it's a close fight, right? Say it's a close loss, say he loses 8-4, like 16-12, 116-112 against Garcia. They'll say, hey, you know what? He was drained for that fight. So you can still kind of work that in. That's a good angle for Gamboa.
Not just that. Juan can knock you out.
Yeah,
And you can't keep running from Juan because he will knock you out. So,
yeah.
you can't get disengaged. And what are Gamboa's best fights? The ones where he got to be in there fighting with somebody and he gets knocked down and has to get up and knock them down just to get back in the fight. So, 50 Cent, man, you need to holler at us.
Yeah, that's right. But to me, Mikey Garcia still takes him out.
Huh.
I love Mikey Garcia. One of my probably top 10 fighters that I like watching. You know, like there's about 5 to 6 guys we all have. Like whenever they're fighting, I don't care what's going on. And I'm not talking about the bigness of the fight. I'm talking about guys. If they were fighting on ESPN2, I'm gonna watch their fight. Mikey Garcia is one. Santa Cruz is one. Rios is one. Provodnikov is one. Abner Mares is one. There's just certain guys that like. I just like the way they fight. I want to see them fight every time they fight. I don't care who wins, what happens.
All I know is
Angulo's another one of those guys. I want to watch every fight he fight.
He got a sweet hook. Like if you're not paying attention, you won't see it coming. You might not see it laying on TV. But when it connects, it connects. He got a sweet hook. And the best part about a hook like that is if you can't see it coming, you know the fighter can't see it coming.
Garcia wins this fight. Where does he go? Because I don't know if that fight with Mares is going to happen right away.
You know who I'm about to say, right? Who else is at 126?
Chris John.
There you go.
He would have to go to Indonesia to fight that fight. I'm just saying, John has only fought twice out of Indonesia.
Guess what?
If the price is right, maybe, you know what? Maybe it is. It's time for John to come back to the U.S. and fight Garcia in Vegas, because Garcia's fighting this fight in Dallas, and there's no way in hell he gonna come fight him in Texas because he already got screwed in Texas once. I would love to see it because it's time for John to step out of his comfort zone and say, let's do it. I'm getting older, 30, 33. It's time to do it. Because I don't think Mares fights there. Salido's there. He's already done that. Been there, done that. Juanma. Yanni Gonzalez, no. Javier Fortuna's a guy. I could see him fighting. De Leon. Ponce de Leon, no. Gradovich is another guy I can see him fighting. He just came off. He just beat Billy Dibb, and so.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm laughing.
Yeah, you know what, John is. I would love to see him against John, because people could say whatever they want. People hate on Chris John because he only fights in Indonesia, but goddamn it, we don't hate on our fighters who only fight in America. John is a good fighter. He's been a champion for 10 years. Like I said, he had wins over the old Derek Smoke Gainer.
he got solid wins.
Juan Manuel Marquez, Rocky Warriors when he was still a contender. Yeah. So the guy is legit, but it would be nice to see him out of his comfort zone. And Garcia is out of his comfort zone because he usually fights in LA. Not much because he's fighting in Texas. So hey, let's go ahead. Let's meet it in the middle. Let's do Vegas. I would love to see that fight.
You know what? How about y'all meet somewhere like Macau?
Now that wouldn't be bad. That wouldn't be bad at all because Macau was really trying to pull these people out to get these fights. That's not a bad option. But that's the fight to watch next week, definitely.
Turn it up.
I mean, Donaire is obviously an option. I don't know if the Mares Donaire fight will be made at 26. It wasn't made at 22.
I honestly think Nonito will fight Urias Gamboa at 30. Because, just like you say, he just came off of surgery. Gamboa don't look that good.
No, he doesn't.
and he's a hooker. Well, Gamboa is not necessarily a hooker. He's like a in and out kind of guy. Yeah, he's a hodgepodge of different styles.
Mm-hmm.
But he's Cuban, and you know the way he got his ass whipped by El Chacal.
Yeah.
He wants to beat the shit out of a Cuban. And you know Gamboa needs to fight somebody who they consider legitimate just to bring out his best.
I think the only way they do that is because Donaire said he's coming back at 26. So he's going to fight at 20. That'll be his first fight at 26. So I think he'll fight at 26 and then go up to 30. I don't know. Well, I'm not saying that, but I'm not saying that he won't, but I'm just saying it's hard to see that he goes right to a Gamboa first thing out.
He got heart. He don't take the easy route.
Yeah.
So, I mean, does he go straight to 26? Maybe, maybe not. Me personally, I don't think so. Why? Baby weight.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we all gain it.
Yeah, just baby weight. You know what, baby? I'm walking around at 47 right now. I might can make it 30.
I would love to see that at 30.
You see, man, Gamboa, I'm trying, man. Because I need to see you step your game up.
And Golden Boy and 50, I'm sure, can work together. I don't see no reason why they couldn't work together. Because 50's all about making money. He don't care about this and that, like, Aram and Golden Boy have their beef, and Aram and Mayweather have their beef. 50 is about,
let's get paid.
I need to make some money. Let's do this. So,
and I need to see, and me as a fan of Gamboa, I want to see the old Gamboa. I know he's still in there because you see spurts of it, but obviously he needs to have a competition that's got to keep him at a high level. So forget it, man. Let's do it.
Well, I don't know about you, man, but that's about all I got this week.
Let's get it out of here, then.
Take it.
This is where the fighters fight and where the fans commentate.
And we do it just like you from the cheap seats because we ain't buying no tickets, goddammit. Peace.